Watch me as I give you a step-by-step instruction to 5 new haircuts and techniques that are popping on social media. I'm Travis Parker of the Travis Parker Academy, and using our methodology, Hairdressing Made Easy, this is what we call the Hairdresser Breakdown. Now, here's how it's going to break down. It's going to go really quickly. Matter of fact, these reels are short, they're sweet. I haven't seen any of them in their entirety. So after I run through it once, we're going to go through it a second time, pause it, understand the what, the why they're doing, what they're doing, when they're doing it, and how they're doing it, so that you can learn from this and put this straight into application behind the chair. All right, my friends, let's get into our first one. All right, here we go. Let me catch my breath. All right, you ready? Let's go. We didn't start it. Blunt cutting that first bit right between the arch of the eyes. Second bit's rough cutting that from the area just below the chin at natural fall. Now going 90 to over direct at the sides of the head, connecting that from a shortest piece to a longest piece, cutting actually from the bottom up. Let's break that down much slower now. Okay, we are looking at a section right now that is being cut between the arch of the brows, which is a subsection. Within that, everything is being held at 0 degrees. It is blunt cut. Then we are dropping into the next bit, both cheeks that you can see right below the base of the chin, blunt cut, 0 degrees. That is our rough cut in that. Now we are taking it from its longest point to a shortest point, 1 finger's depth right in through there. Now combing through the sides of the head, and from the longest piece over the temple region, we are connecting that to the fringe on each side of the haircut. Dang, that looks good. Okay, cool, perfect. Let's look at the next one. All right, a similar sectioning pattern, but this is a triangular section pattern versus a horizontal and a vertical sectioning pattern. Same sort of thing. Before I'm even getting into it, I can see that they are creating their rough guide, and that is a guide to length, and blunt cutting that. Blunt cutting that, ooh, a little V on each side, so a concave line. Same thing that we did on the previous, now shorter to longer. Elevating that 90 degrees from the hairline straight up, that displaces weight through the inside of the haircut, dropping it back down. Now he's got a diagonal section on each side that is actually technically a diagonal back. We're using forward graduation, displacing weight from the inside of that section. Now we're going into a traditional butterfly cut here, which is combing everything towards the chin. Everything's over directed and elevated at 0 degrees. Blunt cutting that back part flat to the round of the head. Working through that, getting into layers, convex layers right now, cutting to the round of the head and the convex area of the head from the occipital bone to the back of the radial. On each side, everything is carried on base. Those last sections behind the back of the ear are over directed. Now with a flat layer across the top, everything is being point cut, over directed towards the middle, which is concave layers from the back of the ear to the front of the hairline. And dang, that was fast. Okay, we've got a triangular section, a concave fringe that is being point cut at its shortest point in the middle, longer on each side of that, held at 0 degrees. I can't believe that this gives us this much information. This is great. Now you can see all of that is over directed towards the face. When that falls over the side of the face, that's going to give you a little bit of layering inside that line. So displacing weight as they're removing length at the same time, just like the previous haircut, they were cutting from that longer point to the shorter point to connect it, then elevating everything 90 degrees up from the hairline, which is just cutting more weight from back behind as well. Rough cutting that guide to length on the sides there, which is coming from the temple region, blending that all the way down with fringe. This is called forward graduation when it's teed apart to the diagonal part. Now, everything from the profile in the back is over directed to the front, which builds shorter layers in the front. They draft into longer layers in the back, and it develops sort of a V shape of layering in the back of the head. Then they've cut a flat line to the round of the head. Now they're building convex layers. You can see initially everything was on base. As they get to the rear recession on each side, everything is over directed back to the previous section, which just leaves additional length behind the back of the head, which is super good for when somebody has cowlicks or any sort of growth patterns that move towards the middle of the head. It leaves that extra real estate. Plus we're dealing with the shoulders as well, which obviously is a red flag zone. They're building convex layers, which means that they are cutting that to the round of the head, just way out here. And it looks like they are pretty much point cutting. It's kind of an off angle of point cutting, but somewhere between blunt and point cutting, definitely an angular set. It's cute. I like it. Really well done. All right, we've got just a couple more. And here we go. Okay, developing a length there. Everything is really being rough cut right now. Once again, we've got that short little money piece up in through the front between the arch of the brow on each side. We're using forward graduation. He is slide cutting, so not closing the shears as he works from a shorter point to a longer point. Wow, that really cuts into the back end. Oh, this is cute. This is super cute. It almost looks like the jellyfish or the octopus cut, where we've got more layers inside the haircut with a little bit more disconnection as it moves through the length and blending short little pieces in through there using freehand cutting. But let's go back through the tutorial. Okay, cool. So first of all, he's combing everything from that profile part over the top of the head, that rounds over the back. Everything from the back is being combed towards front, which is going to cut the front part shorter, the back part longer. Blunt cutting that line. Then he's got that little money piece, as I said, a small micro triangular section up and through the front, 1 finger's depth at the nose, which just displaces weight a little bit on that surface, making that edge a little bit softer. Now slide cutting it. This is big. The shears are not closing, which is technically slicing. So this is technically slide cutting, which is super fun. Your shears definitely need to be sharp, and you want more of a contoured edge with your blade. We're going to move that towards the bottom. I don't think they show us the layers in this. He's got a radial section. Everything's being combed forward. Forward graduation. There we go. Super cute. All right, cool. Let's see what this one is. Profile section of the back, inverted V on each side from the occipital bone to the mastoid process. He is cutting it shorter in the middle, longer on the sides, concave line. Next section, parallel to the previous. Everything is being slightly over-directed. It's almost teed apart. Actually, he combed it over towards the ear and then back. Yeah, a little double. Yeah, I don't know why they're doing that, to be honest. Doesn't necessarily seem imperative that you would do it both ways, but he is doing it both ways throughout this entire thing. Needless to say, we're building a concave line. Everything technically at this point is one length. That's a beautiful baseline. Nice. So longest perimeter is super good. Everything is being blunt cut right now, using the hand, pressing that against the neck. The more we press that against the back of the neck, the longer that surface will be, which develops weight and helps to create micro beveling towards the bottom there. Continuing to cut this to, it looks square in the back, concave line. Now he's cutting this to the round of the face right now. I should say square to the face, 0 degrees, one length. Personalizing that, that is absolutely stunning. Dang, that looks super good. All right, cool. So once again, we've got a diagonal forward line. So you see this from the occipital bone to the mastoid process on each side. It looked like it was initially flat there. Now cutting it longer as it moves towards the recession on each side. So even if you're building a concave line, it's not a bad idea, or a flat line, it's not a bad idea to start off with concave, because we get these cowlicks through the back of the neck there, and that really can shrink up. And then all of a sudden we've got a real rounded convex line there when we're trying to develop something flat. So a little bit of over direction at the back of the ear there, which just leaves that additional length. At the same time, combing all that through, continuing to work section upon section upon section. He's showing us everything at one length, but then when it's blown dried, we see a little bit of graduation in through the back. So I don't know if they built that in there with 45, if they added that in with texturizing shears after the fact, but it definitely moves into, and I'll show you this in just a second here. Let's see, continuing to build that baseline. Yeah, so wait, let me pause right there. So see all of this lightness up and through here? They've either built that with 45 degrees of graduation, shortest point about 1.5 inches above the baseline there, or they've created sort of invisible layers using texturizing shears. So I'm not really sure. Now, this is one I've thrown in at the end here. This is a little bonus. And what this is talking about is what elevation does to any cut section that you're building. I absolutely love this video right now. We've got 0, 45, 90, 180. There's one that files in between that would be right here that we consider 135. And just another degree of elevation, which displaces weight and length at the same time. But this first one right now at 0 degrees is going to give you maximum weight. 45 degrees is going to start to graduate that line ever so slightly. 90 degrees to start to give us more layers. And then 180 displaces all weight and all layers at the same time. Now that's super fast, so let's go through it. So a total collection of weight right now. If you've got somebody with finer hair or you want more definable line, you're definitely going to go towards 90 degrees. We use 45 degrees a lot when we're creating face framing or using forward graduation or graduation in our bobs in the back. 90 degrees is our most traditional way to build layering throughout a haircut, displaces length throughout a haircut, totally displacing weight at the same time. 180 is really what we're going to use more often than not when we're trying to create more weight towards the base of a haircut, but take everything from the base and really start to sever any sort of additional weight above that. So we've got a little bit more of a whimsical nature. And that's that. My friends, I'm Travis Parker of the Travis Parker Academy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. And until the next time, I will see you then. Thanks for watching the Hairdresser Breakdown. Take care.